This is E.Wilson, the conversator from the JTC Exchange Radio Show, coming to you live from the JTC headquarters in Bedford, Texas. We are just so excited to be with you right now. As always, JTC Exchange is on the move. You never know what we're going to talk about next, because it's all about the conversation, the exchange of information that we can become stronger, better, wiser. So I'm excited today to have my man, Mr. Keith Gardner. And if you see this book, we're going to get into that a little bit, but Keith Gardner, my greatest outcome came from going through my greatest pain. The author of one of the best-selling books out. We're speaking that by faith because we know what's going to happen. But Keith, welcome to the JTC Exchange, my brother.
Thank you, E, man. I'm just so delighted to be here, man. I'm fired up.
Yeah, well, I know that. And don't get fooled by his calm demeanor. You know, we done been doing some talking before this camera started rolling. But Keith, listen, man, again, I'm excited. I'm honored. I'm excited about what God is doing with you and your wife, man, and you stopping by, you know, the JTC Exchange to chat with us for a few. So in this segment, we're talking about the importance of a father. Today, 2013, it has been said that having a man in the home, a father with the family, it's becoming where it's kind of optional, they say. You know, it doesn't really matter if we're there in our children's lives. You know, it doesn't really matter. From Keith Gardner's perspective, how important is the role of the father in the home?
Man, it's so important because we as the men, we are the covering of our homes. We are to cover every kind of spirit, anything that comes through those doors. It's so important, especially, man, and I hate to break it down to a race or gender. In the African American families, man, it's really important because we know as African American males, when you don't have the absence of a father in that home, man, I mean, these kids are getting into drugs, all kind of promiscuous lifestyles, homosexual activity, just everything, because there is no leading and guidance, no kind of covering of a male, a strong male figure in the household.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Absolutely. And it does make a difference. You know, as you were saying that, I was remembering way back in the 80s, way back, and I had gotten stopped by the police for driving too fast. And long story short, when they pulled me over, it wasn't them that I was scared of. I was more scared of saying, how am I going to tell my dad? And that's all that. Now, they had the guns, and don't get me wrong, I wasn't being tough, but I was saying, oh my goodness, what am he's going to kill me. That's what was going through my mind. And so what you're saying, Keith, is that when the father is not present, that respect, that fear is not there. So you're saying that we cross boundaries much easier than if there was a father in the home to kind of hold us in check.
Man, I just remember, you know, we tend to want to play with the mother, you know, because she's the softer person. But man, just for your father to come in, he didn't have to show you a belt or anything. Just to come in and look at you, it brought you into attention.
Absolutely.
Because, man, it's just something about that father figure.
Yes.
Man, I mean, you know, you just know where to cross the line and where not to.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And to the mothers out there, first off, hats off to you.
Yes.
This is not a competition, but God designed it for the man and the woman to work together as a team. And where mama, she wasn't supposed to have to do all that. It was supposed to be that strong. So we know when daddy came around, like you said, he didn't have to say a word. He could just give you a look and you would line up, man. So, you know, and I think that being a father is, and that comes from God, who is the ultimate father, where we have the honor and privilege to wear that name and that title. What do you say, Keith, to the men out there who are, let's say, in a relationship or a marriage and it's not working out, or for the other men out there who have kids and maybe they're not involved in their kids' lives because, you know, they have baby mama drama, and so they just don't feel like dealing with it, which to a degree I can kind of understand. But what can you say to them to encourage them to understand that, listen, man, you're needed and that quitting is not an option?
Kids, they never, I mean, kids are so keen, especially in today's time, whether you're around or not. I mean, for years, kids will always want to know, who is my daddy? Who is my father? Just because you put on a pair of pants, that don't make you a father. That doesn't make you a man. But just being there. I hear our bishop all the time. He said, man, if you don't even say nothing, you just show up and just grunt.
I know that's right.
It makes a difference.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It makes a difference. Your presence makes a difference. And I encourage these men, man, pull your pants up.
Yes, sir.
Accept the responsibilities. You cannot change what you don't stand up to. Stand up to it. Quit making these babies, having babies all over town.
Yeah.
I mean, you got some brothers, man, got 10 and 12 children. It's ridiculous. And now I can't just fault the man, because some of these women are leaving doors open.
Yes, sir.
You know, and if you leave that door open, that says a little something about, you know, the woman too.
Absolutely. It's definitely a two-way street. And as we were sharing earlier, you know, we got to change this behavior, because we can blame whoever we want to blame, but when it comes down to having children, it was a man and a woman who got together. Now, whatever the circumstances were, that's a whole nother ball game. But now we have this child who now has the odds stacked against them, because the two who got together were never committed in the first place. So what Brother Keith is saying, and what I'm saying is, listen, brothers, get engaged, you know, find out, you know, take the time for the football game, the basketball game, the baseball game, or whatever the kid may be doing, your daughter, cheerleading. We need to be there, just our presence. Come on now, you know, usually at the games, mama screams the loudest, but daddy's like, that was a good game, boy. You know, he don't have to say much. Some of the dads are excited, so we're not saying that, but it is important for men to be involved. We want you to know that you're important, you're valuable. Things will not change until men get involved and take their proper roles and do the things that God has called them to do. Like Brother Keith said, covering the family, watching over the family. You know, it is forget about full time. It's two-time. You know, it's a two-time job, and it's an honor and a privilege that we get to be called father and to be able to cover our families, that they can go further than we will ever. That makes sense, Keith? That makes sense.
All the sense in the world. You the man.
Stop it, Keith. Stop it. Listen, we hope you men are encouraged. Listen, if you're in a city, I'm sure there's churches, there's ministries, there's organizations around that specialize in fathers and are there to encourage and uplift. If you're in the Metroplex area and for some strange reason you haven't found a place that you can be encouraged, because let me tell you something, being a father is probably one of the hardest jobs you'll ever have. And if you need to be encouraged, empowered, get a hold of us at the JTC Exchange, www.jtc, the letter X, change.org. You can email us at jtcexchange@gmail.com. You can give us a holler at 817-681-3318. We would love to encourage you, empower you, and to strengthen you. And I'm sure that you can have something to say that will strengthen us. So this is E.Wilson, the Conversator, my brother Keith. Thank you again, brother, for stopping through.
And let me say this, men, it's never too late to play a role in your child's life. Don't ever feel like I haven't been around for 10, 15 years. It's never too late. Step up to it.
Well, that's it right there. I'm glad you said that. This is E.Wilson, the Conversator, or man Keith Gardner, right here from the JTC Exchange headquarters. Remember, if you're going to have a conversation, make it a good one. We're out.
All right.